welcome to the third edition of the School Improvement Services Podcast. My name is Gretchen Bruner, and I'm the Executive Director of School Improvement Services. With me again today is Sean Akers, Student Success Act Coordinator. And we are excited today to hear about some upcoming professional development. Sean, What do you have for us today?
Well, I think the first thing I want to start with is just kind of a general statement of when we're seeking to provide professional development to the region, we are really looking at the needs of the region as a whole. And we're trying to identify some potential learning opportunities or look at delivering some content that really meets the needs of our folks who are navigating their integrated plans. High school success, student investment account, and the other ones that are aligned with it. And so the highest level of engagement we have right now is in the area of our program with social emotional learning, like far and away above all the other areas. So one of the professional development opportunities we have for folks is Ruler. So that's a program. It's an approach that you can take to increase educator emotional intelligence and provide some tools, have a little bit more in your toolkit to navigate situations at school. It's an approach, although it does have some curriculum components, it's an approach and it integrates with any system. And some of our districts are using it actually as a way to engage, as a way to support their students and teachers. And then they're checking with the DESA system to see if they're having an impact in social emotional learning skills.
Similar to the conversations we had on our last podcast around letters and modern classrooms being approaches, right, that fit into a variety of areas. That the goal is to have those systems in place and those supports. And then in each district, which is a little bit different, then you do your tweaks and the things.
Exactly right. It's the fidelity and integrity piece, right? Like some of the aspects of each of these programs do have some very specific fidelity. Like you need to follow these particular steps in order to be moving in the right direction. But then there's the integrity piece. Like, what does my system need? And am I using this to fulfill the needs of my system, my educators, my students? So February 23rd, we've got the Ruler Regional Gathering. We started this back a few years ago, and we just continue because we've got so many district teams, school teams, that are implementing the Ruler approach. If you're not a Ruler district, that's totally fine. We just need to reach out to Holly Dalton. She's our Senior Manager of Social Emotional Learning, and she can fill you in. She can get you up to speed. She can help get you access. So,
all right, Holly Dalton, DALTON at WESD.org.
Yeah. All right. Now, March 14th. Again, continuing with social emotional learning, March 14th, Willamette ESD Self-Standards Framework Workshop. So that's House Bill 2166. All districts are required to implement social emotional learning standards. The state's been working on standards. I think they're contracting with CASEL, which is a great organization, national organization around social emotional learning.
Ruler is built off CASEL standards.
Ruler is built off CASEL standards. We jumped ahead a little bit and partnered last year with what was the name of the outfit? Northwest. What's the group up there that does the
Northwest PBIS?
No, not PBIS.
Northwest Regional. Yep. The REL.
The REL, right? Okay, so
Regional Education Lab. Yep.
Yeah, is that the one we? Anyway, so we partnered with them. Folks across the region and folks outside of the region to look at what we already had in place, because the WESD already had some standards, but we recognized we were missing some pieces of equity, we were missing some pieces of early learning. And so we went through this process and comprehensively developed a set of standards that folks can look at and start to implement right away. So this workshop is a great opportunity on March 14th for folks educators, building leaders, district leaders to come together and look at ways they can start integrating standards and framework right away. And then tentatively on March 16th, this has to do with looking ahead. Summer learning is huge, right? And we've got a great partnership with Oregon Ask, who is just a phenomenal conduit for so many different extended learning programs. So that's after school, that's summer learning, not necessarily grounded in academia, but grounded in experienced learning, experiential learning. And so on March 16th, what we're thinking is at the end of our Willamette School Improvement meeting, we're going to have a bit of a think tank discussion around what is summer learning going to look like? What do we need to be prepared? And how can we, this money that is very likely coming back to us, how are we going to use that money to make sure that 100% of students and families who want their students to engage in expanded learning opportunities have an opportunity across our region. So we're really excited about that. That'll be March 16th.
I'm particularly excited about that because I know that some of the changes were a little bit clunky last year. And we were involved in trying to help through all those pieces. And we really want to get a jump start because we know that you want to hit the ground running as a district and be ready with your summer school before your kids are out so you can tell them what's happening. And so this is a good time to do some pre-planning and some thinking and really excited to be able to offer this time. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so this will be great. We're definitely 2 months ahead from where we were last year, by looking at it in March. So now on April 18th, we have the School Safety Summit. This is a big deal. School safety is huge, and we think about school safety, and some folks might gear towards locking doors or having fences or some of those things and all the different drills that we do. But it's so much more than that. It's making sure that every student, every educator has that sense of safety and security, that sense of belonging in their schools. And so some of the session topics are going to include emergency preparedness, suicide prevention, every student belongs, grant funding for school safety, and then universal and targeted interventions for behavior safety, assessment, and safety planning. So it's going to be a phenomenal event. We have a lot of partners from around the region, partners that a lot of our districts are engaged with. So
and our own really strong team here.
Yeah, our own strong team, absolutely. So April 18th, Cassie Stafford is a person on my team that's helping to coordinate that effort. So those are the big ones.
Great.
Those are the big ones. And then I think the list is going to be sent out. So many of you are on our email list anyway. We've got just that giant list of professional development opportunities. Again, look at the list and then share those component pieces with the folks in your districts that need the specific training. And if you have any questions, just reach out. I can certainly clarify or point you in the direction for more or even better information.
Perfect. Sounds great. All right.
What about the ODE updates? There's always
there always are. So there is they're actually looking right now for math and ELA educators who are interested in scoring. I guess any educator who's interested in scoring math and ELA assessments. Years ago, I remember helping to write some of the social studies questions when we were doing all of that. I learned how to grade both ELA and math assessments. And it's really deepened your understanding of the rubrics and how they score. The initial training's on March 17th in Salem. It includes 7 travel costs that are covered by ODE, and then qualified raters could remotely score at the standard ODE rate of $28.96 per hour during off contract time, of course. The deadline for this application, I believe may have passed. However, if you're still interested, let us know or contact ODE and jump in on that. So really exciting work continuing and taking a look at how we're having some alternative assessments. Also, high school juniors and seniors who are looking for paid summer research experience can apply for the Step Up short-term research experience, needing to do so today. However, again, that's something to check in on. I will share a QR code in our notes at the bottom of this that you can get that information. This information was shared through us to the Office of Indian Education. There's a focus group opportunity, and it's really in students from backgrounds and underrepresented populations in biomedical research on a national basis. And so some cool opportunities coming up.
Yeah.
District testing coordinators should have had an email on about February 8th about a training that's happening today, but there is more training coming up. So make sure that you are in contact with your district testing coordinators. It is National School Counseling Week as well, and we are really excited to take a moment to recognize the hard work and dedication that our counselors are engaged in. We're really proud of the focus on students' mental health and well-being over the last few years. It's been so vitally important coming out of COVID. Their academic achievement and future planning really brings this whole education system together. We can't just do different parts. And so that goes back to that social learning and parts.
Well, and I mean, I think the state's been doing a really good job of supporting the integration of so many different things. And one of them is the comprehensive school counseling standards.
For sure.
Those include career and technical education, social emotional learning, all around wellness. And when we think about the integration of other things, high school success focuses on career and technical education.
Right.
the cell framework and those standards, right? Those are teachers applying that information and helping build those. So, we shouldn't always want to be dependent on just the one person to do all of these things. This one person has a lot of information and can help the programs and the educators that are already doing work with kids.
Perfect.
So,
yep. So we just really appreciate them being our counselors, being an advocate and a guide to help students and the outcomes that they need. Thank you, counselors. It's a thankless job many days. And so thanks for keeping up on all the things that you do.
yeah.
Just a note too, as well, in OAESD, so the Oregon Association of Education Service Districts, we're really working on having just a whole list of all the dates and the due dates and all of the things coming up. And so we're working to streamline that more. So right now I'm cherry picking things out of emails. And so sometimes in these, they're right on target. Sometimes they're a little bit late, but the goal is to be able to have that resource and get that ready for our districts. And so we are working across the state to have those conversations. And so that is upcoming. If you have suggestions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Gretchen.Bruner has 2 N's at WESD.org, and we're happy to share that information and to find the right resources for you.
Yeah, I think speaking of like deadlines and due dates on this stuff, we've mentioned some things that are happening today, February 15th, and some deadlines. I think the biggest thing is sometimes these deadlines are super hard and fast, and we can't change them because of some other things that we just can't control. But oftentimes we have these deadlines and there might be some flexibility because of the need. Like we need people to fulfill duties or responsibilities or roles that are really high priority. So knowing that, reach out to us. We've got great collaboration with some folks at ODE, and so we can help be a conduit for you.
Perfect. So that's all we have for you today. Short and sweet. I know we were supposed to have Adam Whalen with us this time, but didn't work out for this. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, we'll get him back.
We'll have him on our next podcast. He is scheduled and ready to go for the next.
Good.
And excited to learn more about some of the opportunities that his team's providing.
Yeah.
And like always, should you need anything, you know where to find us. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Best part of being a service organization is that we get to serve you. But if it isn't something that's working for you, it's not something that works for us. So reach out, give us feedback, let us know how we can support you best. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Yeah. Have a great day. Take care.